So yesterday, the number 10, the GOAT, Lionel Messi, introduced at Drive Pink Stadium. Had mentioned it earlier. Inter Miami did lose 3-0 over the weekend. They lost to St. Louis. Their next game will be Messi and Sergio Busquets' debut Friday night, Drive Pink Stadium, 8 p.m. The opening round of the League's Cup group stage. Correct, Witty?
Indeed.
This is the group stage,
Yep.
8 p.m.
So what do we expect from Lionel Messi in this? This doesn't count towards MLS standings.
No.
And what are we expecting to see? Like, I don't know.
10 goals.
Soccer. I'll take the over. I'm not real big on soccer, but that seems low. So I'm going to go over on that.
Yeah.
No, but what are we expecting? A full game? I don't know what to expect.
It's a really interesting question because I do think the manager, Tata Martino, has sort of been very public about trying to almost lower the expectations on, we got to see if he's ready. But I can't imagine that this is going to be something that he will take lightly, the club will take lightly. This is the moment, right? This has been billed from the moment that Jorge Mas gave an interview saying, July the 21st, Inter Miami, Cruz Azul, get your tickets now. And this game most of the games are just on Apple TV. This game will also be on over-the-air Univision. Fox will have coverage of this tournament over the course of its duration as well. So from a media standpoint, this is the chance to really have a big moment where he arrives, but he also only just begun training today, really. He was with the team. I think they were doing a recovery session today, and then tomorrow they'll actually have a genuine in-earnest training session. So I don't know, from having come off of vacation, from having last played a game in early June, if he's ready to just sort of step on the pitch and start and play 90 minutes. But I imagine everyone involved is sort of incentivized for him to do so.
I asked this of Solana earlier in the show, and I said, we'll ask Wittyngham when he gets here. What's the goal for this particular season? Obviously, you get Lionel Messi, it changes the trajectory, not just of your club, but of MLS in total. But from what I understand, from what Solana has explained, there's such a slight chance of them even making the playoffs. Would they have been better suited signing him, introducing him, but not starting to have him be an active player until next season? Because don't you, I don't know, isn't there some sort of, for people who really don't follow soccer well, they like the excitement of this, and then all of a sudden you're going to fast forward a month and a half or whatever, and they don't make the playoffs, and it just kind of ends with a thud.
Well, I do think that it's sort of on us to sort of set the expectations, right? And I think
on AM radio, I'll send some letters out.
I mean, they're currently on 18 points. They're 12 points off the playoffs as it stands right now. But I mean, really, the hope is to get on a run in one of the three competitions you have left to play, because they are starting League's Cup on Friday. If they win the two games that they play against Cruz Azul and against Atlanta United at home, you're through into the knockout round, and then you're 5 games away for potentially lifting a trophy. Then you have the U.S. Open Cup, which you play the semifinal away at Cincinnati on August 23rd. From my personal standpoint, that's the competition I'd be throwing absolutely everything at, because you could potentially not only beat FC Cincinnati, who are currently the top team in MLS, but go into a final that could potentially be a final you host at home, could potentially be a final that you host at Hard Rock Stadium. And if all of a sudden you're playing for a trophy in year one, I think that's a really big deal. If you win it, then you're playing Champions League soccer next year, which is a big competition in this part of the world. You could potentially, if you then go and win that, which is obviously a fairly lofty goal, could potentially play in a home Club World Cup in 2025 and go up against the likes of Manchester City, Real Madrid, the biggest clubs in Europe. Obviously, these are very lofty goals before he's even played a game, but that's sort of what is on offer. And I think in league play, the hope is that Inter Miami just go on a run, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a run that gets you into the playoffs, but a run of, okay, they're clearly building something. You have to remember, Miami are not just linked with bringing Messi and Busquets, with which they've now brought over the line. They're also linked with Jordi Alba, who's a left back who played at Barcelona for a while. And now Tata Martino, the manager, is starting to use his connections in South America. They're being linked with some younger players, 20, 21 years of age, bringing in from South America. So they're going to make several signings in this transfer window. And you hope really by the end of the year that it's come together, and that Lionel Messi just shows who he is every week. You give him a platform to be the guy that you sign, which is he can score an assist in every single game and completely change the math for you.
There you go. There's the explanation that we were looking for.
Bigger picture, I know that's what Hawk's looking for, but Friday in his debut, you remember Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He comes on first game with with LA, and he scores a golazo.
It's one of the most iconic moments in the history of the league.
Correct. I'm not saying Messi has to do something similar. I'm not saying he has to score from his own 18-yard box, but he does have to make a splash on Friday, right? Aside from winning the game, there has to be some moment of brilliance from Messi, so that not that Friday is going to fall
bicycle
flat,
kick,
which you now know is
I know it. It is a Chichi Rodriguez.
Chilena.
Learn that. Solana's been teaching me.
I thought you were trying to get him to explain what the actual maneuver is.
Oh, no. I learned that it's called a chilena.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there has to be, right? Some moment of
when
brilliance.
you say has to, right? Like has to, so that a bunch of people don't go home disappointed, right? Like that's sort of what you're saying, which is
just to build on the excitement.
For sure. You don't want Friday to come and then nothing happens, and a lot of people,
rainstorm,
right, exactly.
and
like people,
like you want one of these things to work. I believe Jorge Mas would have been a better owner for the Marlins than Bruce Sherman. I think this guy is legit and dedicated to the community and South Florida. But when I think of the things that could have gone well that didn't, they unveil the club and then COVID happens.
Yes.
And there's like you can't even get behind them. And then there's an MLS's back tournament, and they were eliminated from the tournament, I believe, in the first 10 minutes of their first game. Like something happened where like, and then and like you're waiting for something.
They didn't win their first game until their sixth game of the year.
Right.
They can't catch a break.
They can't catch a break. And then there's the introduction last night, and it is a rainstorm to end all rainstorms.
Yeah.
And so like I understand what Solana's saying, like, hey, Friday night would be great if something worked out perfectly.
Right. If he has a hat trick in the game
exactly.
and you're off and running. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think to capture this community, which I think to a certain extent it already has.
I believe it has.
Right.
I think something special Friday night would catapult it to a new level.
Right, which I think not only would catapult it here in Miami, but sort of in the broader sporting populace. We're in a period in which there's not a ton going on. Baseball is going on. The Women's World Cup will actually be going on. The U.S.'s first game in the Women's World Cup will be going on concurrently with this Inter Miami game. So there's an opportunity here to seize attention. And I think that is the biggest thing that Miami are going to have to do here is seize attention and have Lionel Messi. Most importantly, give him the platform because he's that good. The only times in which he hasn't delivered in previous times is when the team around him doesn't function. I think the manager is obviously incredibly well placed to know what allows the team
needs
to function.
to run a couple plays for Messi. Is that what we're saying?
Exactly.
Open up the playbook and
I do think like one of those spectacular moments, just something to watch out for. He's like among his many skills is he's one of the greatest free kick takers in the history of the game. So if there's a free kick from 25 yards out in sort of that perfect Messi zone, which is sort of just off to the right of the goal, 25 yards out, so he has the ability to get it over the wall and then into that top corner. If he sort of produces one of those moments of magic, you're like, oh my God. And then the first time he's sort of in space, because I imagine opposition teams are going to try and mark him out of the game. The first time he's in space and can run at defenders and survey the field and see the runs that are going on around him, those moments where it's like, all right, when you see this incredible skill manifest itself, those are the moments that you're looking for. And obviously you hope that they turn into goals and that Miami win the game. And it's, as you said, the moment where it finally comes good and Inter Miami, this big thing that Jorge Mas wants it to be, actually proves to be on the field.
These are actually headlines. This is not our Messi conversation. So let's finish up the headlines here because I could talk about this for an hour, which was the plan. But I do want to get the headlines because I want to see if you think Messi has had any regret since he's gotten down here when he probably drove to the stadium for the first time and he saw the KFC across the street. Solana, what do we have for the headlines?
Yeah, all the warehouses too. Which, by the way, we're teaming.
Will you take me in some sort of a special back entrance? No. This is the,
although if you see
the main pomp and circumstance, and
if you see the state of the construction going on at the Camp Nou, which is where Barcelona play right now, it's not the most glamorous sight at the moment there either.
All right.
Although I'm gonna drop, like the little man that you can drop on Google Maps and then look at the street. I'm gonna drop a pin and see like what it's like in the.
You're gonna tell me that
I just want to see if it compares at all to Commercial Boulevard.
Play in Barcelona is somehow going to compare to Commercial Boulevard west of 95.
Witty, I've been to the Camp Nou and I love you, buddy. But just
listen,
don't do it.
I'm clicking through the streets right now. I'm going on a little drive through Barcelona as we speak. Seems like a lot of residential buildings.
Even when they brought him into the stadium, there's the video that CBS4 captured. Great video. He's walking into the stadium for the first time through the black gates, and it's just black gates around, and the MLS van that's out there.
The production truck.
Right.
That's where they go in.
Yeah. Los Marlins.
He's up to his knees in water.
It wasn't that bad. Come on.
What am I doing?
They were swept by the Orioles over the weekend. They begin a 3-game series in the Lou versus the Cards tonight. First pitch 7:45 p.m.
All right, very good.
I had mentioned earlier Steven Lorentz, new Panthers forward. He will wear the number 11 jersey.
Yeah, we talked about that, Wittyngham. You invested in a Jonathan Huberdeau jersey. Do you think you'll get just the Lorentz nameplate?
No.
No? Really? Wow,
no.
You dismissed that
the
very
Huberdeau
quickly,
jersey has gone into storage and we brought out at a later date. By the way, I can confirm that there is a KFC that's 3 blocks away from the Spotify Camp Nou in Barcelona.
In Barcelona?
In Barcelona.
Well,
yeah.
Now I'd like to know what's on the KFC menu in Spain because that.
All right, I'm gonna drop the Google pin guy next to the KFC so we can get a look at it here.
This is exciting.
Sounds like my next vacation, Barcelona. Woody's the only South Floridian that has punted on the Panthers, by the way, this year.
It's so crazy. He's put his Jonathan Huberdeau jersey into storage.
I'll see you guys in 2030.
Just get the Lorentz nameplate.
No.
And all of a sudden your $150 investment's not a bad investment anymore.
No. That is a jersey and a poor purchase of principle.
So you just want to use it to remind yourself of the
how
error
angry
of your
I
ways?
am. Yes.
Okay.
No, not the error of my ways.
All right.
The courage of my conviction.
All right. Well, then why don't you get a Calgary Jonathan Huberdeau jersey?
Honestly, great shout.
Okay.
I might do that during this offseason.
Do that. And then
fully throw myself into the Calgary
wear it
Flames.
to FLA Live Arena.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, honestly,
No,
great
be that
idea.
guy.
Great idea.
Be that guy.
I was debating.
There's
during
the guy who's got the one seat by himself. He wears the cape and the white shirt. And there's the Ric Flair lookalike.
In the Odyssey suite.
You can be the guy who's always wearing a Jonathan Huberdeau Calgary jersey.
What I was
Sweater.
thinking, what
Sweater,
I was thinking was becoming the guy that became very popular during the Panthers Maple Leaf series that shows up to every game in the opposition jersey.
Oh,
no
that guy
who
that did go viral.
Yeah. So that guy was wearing a Panthers jersey.
Why don't you
during
get a
the Maple Leafs
Huberdeau
run.
jersey in every team in the NHL?
It's like when the Arizona Coyotes are in.
It's just your way of protesting it.
But then, hockey jerseys are spacious. They're thick. They
Right.
take up a lot of room in the closet rack.
And also, it's a terrible take by you because Matthew Tkachuk is 1,000 times better than Jonathan Huberdeau, and he stinks.
Had fewer regular season points year over year.
This conversation.
Okay.
By the way, I'm looking at the window of the Barcelona KFC. They're offering a cholazo.
Really?
I'm trying to figure out. I wonder if it's like sort of a chorizo-based chicken sandwich is kind of what it looks like based on the window.
Huh.
Catalonia.
I mean, I'm excited to try this Messi chicken sandwich from the Hard Rock, but is Amon back there? Is he back there?
They're here. They're setting up in our kitchen.
Ask him if they've thought about a cholazo.
You ask him, Honk. I'm not.
Oh, trust me, I will. Don't ask me twice.
In the men's Wimbledon final yesterday, a 5-set thriller between Novak Djokovic,
a great tennis match,
and Carlos
He hates
Alcaraz, the 20-year-old.
Which Joker do you hate more?
No, I don't have a huge problem with the Serbian Joker. I guess are they? Where's Novak Djokovic from again? Is he Serbian?
I think he's Slovakian. I'll check. Yeah. I'm on it.
Drop a pin at his house.
Yeah, he's indeed from Serbia.
Okay.
Belgrade.
But he had the whole Markieff Morris incident 2 years ago. Kind of over that. They beat us in the finals. They were the better team. This Novak
Which
Djokovic,
one do you hate more?
Oh, it's Novak. It's not even close. There's no athlete.
How about Joker from the
despise
Batman
more.
series?
Which one? Which Joker are we talking about?
Nicholson?
Overrated.
All right.
Now, was your Novak distaste before or after he started holding unvaxxed events?
No.
Way before.
This is way before.
Yeah, okay.
My distaste for Novak has nothing to do with the vaccines.
Yeah.
Like that. I think he's a douche for it, but it has nothing to do with that. I just think he's a pompous.
Oh yeah.
Which I think a lot of people have said that about him. Yeah.
Although he gave a very nice interview in defeat after the match yesterday.
Yeah, it's all baloney.
Yeah.
Guy's a bum. Well, anyways, Carlos Alcaraz, 20 years old. The last time Novak Djokovic lost at Wimbledon, 4-time defending champ, on center court, Alcaraz was 10 years old. Think about that. and he defeated him yesterday in 5 sets.
I saw Alcaraz in person at the Miami Open when he was here. He is incredible.
Yeah.
It's remarkable that Roger Federer, when we were watching him, we're going, this is the greatest men's tennis player ever, and I kind of wonder if anyone will ever challenge him. And there have been 3 greatest ever tennis players that have come after him. Nadal, Djokovic, and now Alcaraz. I think Alcaraz is on that trajectory.
The last tennis match I watched was Bjorn Borg against John McEnroe, breakfast at Wimbledon, 77.
I love Wimbledon, and I like tennis more than I watch it. Meaning, when I watch it, it's fantastic. I enjoy every second, but I don't like actively seek it out as part of my sporting diet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm a huge tennis fan. I watch the slams. That's it.
Solana loves tennis. His dad loves the Tour de France, which is going on right now.
Yeah, we're into the final week of the Tour de France.
Another person taking a selfie caused another.
Is that what the?
wreck.
Wow.
Yeah, incredible. That's the second time in like 4 tours.
Yeah,
incredible. And the big NFL news that I'd like to highlight: DeAndre Hopkins, of course, signing a 2-year, $26 million deal. He chooses Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans.
All right. He may have chosen a big contract too, because I don't know how many teams were offering 2 years.
Do we know what the details of that deal are? Is it like a genuine 2-year deal, or is it a 1-year?
No, he
with
can,
like it. He can get cut next year for $3 million.
I don't know specifically that, but I do know that with incentives, it's worth up to $32 million.
Wow.
Over 2 years. Your weather from
I
the
hope
Demesman.
the incentives are tied to Derrick Henry's rushing yards.
That man is going to hate Ryan Tannehill by the end of the year. Your weather from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7, 866-954-MORE. Continues to rain here in El Portal. Heavy rains across South Florida. That is your weather.